Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, man? Water Cooler Talk podcast, man. We are in your ear. Water Cooler Talk Sports, as a matter of fact. That's what it is, man. We thank y'all so much for rocking with us, man. Tonight, we're talking a little SEC. We're gonna talk about what has been reported, what has been going on at SEC spring meetings, and we'll get into it. This should be a very lively discussion. It should be one that we can actually go in either direction and see exactly what is the future of the SEC in college football. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Water Cooler Talk.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
You are now tuned in to Water Cooler Talks, covering everything you love about college football, especially everything going down in the SEC conference. So, if you love college football, you need to lock in. And now, your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick.
Yo, we back, man. Back around the water cooler, man. We thank y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler. My name is Nick Frazier, one half of Water Cooler Talk podcast. And the man, you hear him and see him, tell him who you are, boss man.
Man, I am Marcus Fitzpatrick. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yes, we thank y'all so much for continuing to rock with us here around the water cooler. And as you can see, man, around the water cooler with us tonight, you just saw him get off literally like, I don't even know, like 7-8 minutes ago. Iron Bowl debates. The man himself from Alabama Sports, from Tight Sports, Alabama football megacast, the one, the only Tight Sports. How you feeling, Tight? You tired?
I'm ready. I'm tired.
That was a rough one. How y'all doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
I should just put on my Tuskegee University stuff because enough of this today. This is God.
Woo! Y'all put on another. Put on your real school. If you put on your real school, you actually put on Auburn because you actually went to Auburn.
I did go to Auburn. I went to grad school at Auburn.
Oh, professions.
That's how it goes.
Where you go, Tight?
Whatever, Ted.
Professions.
Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Tight. Also, I got back around the water cooler from at its SE season. The one, the only, the fan favorite, Auburn Tez. What up, Tez? How you feeling, man?
Feeling pretty good, man. How y'all doing?
We doing well, man. Can't complain at all, man. We hope all of y'all are doing well in this thing as well, man. We're gonna get into it, man. But let's bring up the chat real quick before we get going, man. Auburn Dad in this thing saying War Eagle. What up, Auburn Dad? What's going on with you, my guy? He said Sankey gonna do whatever's best for the SEC, so I hope he right. We gonna get into it, man. We gonna get into it. Bubba said Iron Bowl debates and WCT in the same day. Let's go. In the Glorilla voice. Shout out to Bubba and the old man. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe over there, man. King Richard, his Royal Highness has entered the chat. War Eagle King. How you feeling, man? How you feeling? Auburn Dad said, man, last 2 days I remember what's it like to hate arrogant Bammers, but not talking about Tight. Okay, so he ain't talking about you, Tight. He talking about everybody else. That's what he talking about. The man, the myth, the legend. The Rooster Mac himself, the legend of Sweet Sugar Bell Williams, the Huggy Beard. What's up, man? How you feeling? He just told y'all, man, Rooster Mac in this thing. What's up? Robert Smith. What up, Robert? Fan favorite of Marcus. Marcus is fan. What's up, Robert? How you feeling, man?
Robert, what's up?
They saying Nick, Marcus, and Tez. Hello,
man. Don't highlight Robert as just my fan, man. He's a fan of the show. Man.
He like Mark. He said it. He stated it in the chat. What you saying?
Yeah, he's a fan of the show.
Hey, there's been some weird things going on today. Be careful, Mark. Weird things off of my screen. Be careful.
Get Musty. What up? Get Musty. How you feeling, man? You doing all right? Get Musty, man. I hope all is well, man.
Please,
King Richard said, man, also heard on the radio that Alabama may lose the rivalry game against Tennessee and Auburn with Georgia also. Ooh, don't get us started on that, King. From what I heard, it was some debates over there on our Iron Bowl debates literally just like 10 minutes ago about that. So Ooh, boy, man, y'all don't want to get that riled up again because
Hey, that was crazy last night.
People get upset around these parts when you say certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can't say certain. Well, I don't care. I still say it. It is what it is. The Huggy Bear man says saw him tripping. Is what you say? You heard me. I think is he talking about Mims? Is that who he talking about? I think he talking about Mims.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, all me, right, cool. One or the other.
Tidy be like, he is having a brain meltdown, but they call you Tidy Tight. What's up with that, man?
Don't do that.
Yeah, get money tight with Auburn. Yeah, tight with Auburn. Get musty. He did. You ain't know that. Y'all ain't know that. And I low key didn't even realize I was saying that till I said that. Till I said that. He like, you wouldn't know what's the name, bro. That's funny. It is what it's saying. See what I'm saying? Robert Smith, good to see you, Marcus. I'm telling you, man. It's a fan, man. It's a fan. It's a fan.
Maybe Robert Smith the billionaire though, so that's a good thing.
Hey, Huggy Bear want to know what your email is. He
may want to give you an indecent proposal though. That's the only problem though.
Huh?
What he said?
He said he wants your email.
Your email address.
Yeah, it's
one for the public.
It's SC season at gmail.com.
There you go.
It's SC season.
Yep. It's gmail.com.
It's SEC.
So you can't finish podding. You can't finish if you pod and test. Man.
Yeah. I'm working on
he was talking about me.
Some super top secret stuff right now.
He said Huggy said I was tripping. I don't know what for it was.
Type been getting fights the last two shows. That's what they saying, man.
He been getting real crazy, Type.
You been getting fights in the last two shows. Look, I told
you let's kick off.
Robert Smith said, I only watched this show because of Marcus. And he's a straight white man. I'm telling you, man. That's a fan right there. Shout out to Robert Smith, man. We appreciate that, Rob. We appreciate that, Rob. If you don't mind us calling you that, Rob. Sharp in this thing, man. Tight going to AU is diabolical.
It takes all types. I hope y'all don't think all Auburn graduates work there either. So
exactly, that's a great point. That's actually a good point, man.
Because shout out to Dr. Fields, all Mississippi State, worked at Auburn for 30 years.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into it, man, because we don't want to take up too much of your time tonight. We're gonna try to keep this at an hour,
please.
Yeah, we're gonna try to. Your boy got work to do. Saying Auburn dad get musty. What's good with y'all? Let's get into it, man. So yesterday, all over social media, Twitter, of course, there was this tweet, not just this one tweet, but there were tweets going around that was saying that the SEC, Greg Sankey, has come out and has stated that by the 2028-2029 football season, the SEC is going to break away from the NCAA and become its own independent body and just figure this whole thing out themselves. Doing a little bit more research, that was somewhat taken out of context, but it wasn't far off from what was actually said. So basically it was saying that there have been talks at the SEC spring meetings by coaches of saying, why don't they just break away from the SEC,
right,
and basically start their own league and be an independent and have an independent governing body. So what was reported and what Commissioner Greg Sankey said and what was reported and then what was actually done in the room, what the reports from in the room are not far off, but it's not correlating like simultaneously as what it was said. So tonight we're gonna dive into this thing. We're gonna dive into this thing because I feel like if there's conversations about it, if there's a little smoke somewhere, there got to be a little bit of fire. So that means that this has been talked about. It's probably been talked about ad nauseum. And this is now first first time that it has actually gotten some traction in the media per se. So let's get into it, man. Let's just start off, man. How do y'all feel about this? How do y'all feel about the SEC potentially deciding to just break away, do its own thing, and kind of mess up? Let's do it and kind of just mess up, disrupt the order of what college football has been for literally the past, 35, 40 years. We'll start with Tez first. Tez, what's your thoughts?
Yeah. Do I think it's possible? Absolutely. Do I think it can happen? Yes. Do I think it will happen? I don't know. Okay. The SEC, the kind of the reason we got here in the first place is because of the SEC and the whole SEC championship game. In '92 being the first conference with a championship. It was like the first time a conference invited I guess you would say like a media and like sold their product. Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like, say, hey, we have this product, we have this game. How much can we get for it or whatever? And that's why it's the biggest conference game today. But like that was the first time that had happened, right? And like, so it's to say that they wouldn't do something like this again. Yeah, they're capable of it. We have the fan bases, we have the schools, we have the rivalries, but there's like I'm just questioning how it would work, if that makes sense. Like how it would work in terms of teams that they play. Would they branch off? Would they still play other teams, or is it like an insulated league where we only play each other? How does that work? Because I don't think that would be a good thing. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's one of those things, like, it's kind of been inevitable for a long time.
Okay.
But the way college football is and the way fan bases are and how regional it is and like how much pride we take in saying like we are the best at football amongst everybody, like you have to be able to prove it by playing games against each other. And I don't think that it's like what else would the other teams be playing for? It's like, do we get our own trophy? Like how does this I don't know. How does this work? And then what happens to the SEC championship in that? Like what happens to conference games? How does that all fit?
Interesting. Marcus, your thoughts?
I agree with some of what Tez was saying. It depends on how the SEC rolls it out. They projected in 2028 to roll it out by then, so they have time to at least get a blueprint of what they want it to look like. So I'm confident in the SEC if they do try the rollout for it, probably will be something to our liking. But like Ted said earlier, I don't think it's gonna happen. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Okay, tight.
I think they may try it because I think the SEC and the Big Ten to me represent the oldest and worst parts of the NCAA. They just don't want to admit it. If they tried it, I think there'll be so much legal actions taken against them for see, they want to preserve what has been done away with the courts. But I don't want to see it because I think that's boring. We already got a National Football League. So if we got, 30 teams just playing each other all the time, or 16, whatever, the SEC may grow to 24 so you can play each other. I don't want to see them saying 24 teams for the rest of my days. And I think legally, man, you may be shooting yourself in the foot because while we may have 10 million on average watching every SEC game, some of the people are football fans from West Coast or they're from Oregon or what have you. But if they're not even included, like this whole thing about the SEC and the Big Ten taking over the playoffs, I don't know what people understand about the Sherman Act. It's very old. It does stop antitrust movements, but I don't know how that's going to fly either unless they get under some kind of a special exemption category. I just don't know how the rest of the country. Just think about it this way. If you were a Big 12 fan No, if the Big 12 just was, they became very good like they were. Nebraska, Tom Osborne, and Stoops, whatever, the Nebraska. And they just said, you know what? We're going to just put y'all in the category over to the side. Just, y'all going to have to do what we do, what we say. Pac-12 with USC and then the Oklahoma, Nebraska, we just going to take over. And the Big East, because Miami, whatever. We're just going to take over. We're going to call all the shots, and y'all all. Are you still watching football the same way right now? If you knew that the Pac-12 and the Big 12 had just relegated the SEC to some backseat position. Would you watch as much, or would you just watch Auburn and see how far they can go, or Alabama and go home?
So basically, you just saying. So basically, you arguing for regionality is what it sounds like.
Against it, well, we are regional, but I'm saying, but I think that people outside of region,
are we?
We're pretty much. Well, the SEC is still kind of regional. We don't have too many people that's from way out, but we just the Big Ten has grown, and a lot of people are saying that the Big Ten and the SEC may have been talking about this as I've been doing my little research. They may have been talking about breaking away because it's that whole thing where they say the SEC and the Big Ten is supposed to take over the national championship next year, and between both conferences, they get 8 slots, while everybody else has to split the remaining. What is it? The other 8 slots. I don't even know how does that make sense for anybody if the SEC and the Big Ten are calling that? I mean, how can you make that call? Here's the question I want to propose to you. Are we already living in an era to where we are in a super conference, but it's just not in form? The form of it is just not in the way of what we think it would look like, with two conferences breaking away. Because if you already have the SEC and the Big Ten, to your point, calling the shots of what the college football playoff is going to look like, are we not living in a super conference right now? Well, when Big Ten, because now some people may say it's manipulated into that way because of the influence of those two conferences. But prior to Michigan winning under Harbaugh, I don't know, when was the last team that won one? Was it Urban Meyer at Ohio State? They won like 1 or 2.
Clemson, ACC.
Yeah, Clemson upset the apple cart. But what if the SEC before Michigan, while Saban was still coaching, we just broke away and said, well, SEC, we calling shots. So we're going 6 teams in the 12-team playoffs need to be from the SEC.
Well, I mean, what is it? If you have power, you use it, right? You
use it wisely, because you could find yourself by yourself. And I don't know if they want to do that.
By yourself, but in the terms of it, power doesn't stay in one place all the time. So when you have it, you have to use it, right?
Well, sometimes you have to take it. So if the other conferences go over there and become, we're assuming that the group of 5, they will stay in a relegated position and nobody wants to watch them. It is quite possible there could be a leak. You ever heard that song, "There's a leak in this old building"? It could be a leak. There could be a leak in power where people started getting, instead of Alabama running out and getting all these cornerbacks and a quarterback, mostly cornerbacks from California, they don't never come. And entities or powers that be make sure they stay in state, whether it's at UCLA maybe or USC, but they could go to Cal, or they could, and those teams get better. Then everybody's saying like, well, Alabama wouldn't win the national championship, or Auburn wouldn't win the national championship if they had to play fill in the blank, Texas Tech, with all that money that they spending right now. So I just don't see how this works out, because a lot of the money that we're spending is based on everybody's. We have a lot of input because we got the highest, the most viewed games from week to week. But I think people are not realizing that when the SEC, when we send sacrificial lamb out there to the West Coast, who that may be, let's say Mississippi State or whatever, when we send them out there to play USC, people tune into that game to see them get beat, so they can say, "Man, SEC ain't nothing. Look at that. Look at what happened." Or we send who else? I could say Vandy, but I can't say Vandy no more. When a weaker Florida goes to play somewhere up north and they lose a game, I mean, people love to see that. They love to see us lose. Or when Alabama loses to Michigan, everybody loves that. You know, you won't lose that game, I guess.
You mentioned Mississippi State, just so you know, from 2019 to 2023, against the other Power 4 conferences, Mississippi State is 4-3. Just so you know, they have a winning record.
Okay, all right.
I just
had to throw that in. That's it.
What I think you have more so going on here too is like it's a battle of media networks.
Mm-hmm.
This is ESPN. I've said this I've said this 100 times, but this is ESPN trying to take over college football from the NCAA.
Yep.
They have the playoff as a product, and they also have the SEC. The Big Ten is network. I think Fox.
Yeah, Big Ten is Fox and NBC.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So like ESPN has not only the crown jewel of college football in the SEC and the best championship game as a product in the SEC championship. They also have those games for the college football playoff.
I ask you this question, Tez. Did ESPN get in at the wrong time with the SEC?
I see what you're saying, Nick.
This brings in a very interesting question. I mean, this is a question that it's an undertone question that we always have on this show about which conference is the best. Is it the Big Ten? Okay. Is it the SEC? And you looking at specifically what and we talk about recent memory. Okay. And recent memory to me is the last 3 years. If you want to look in recently is 3 years from the season that you about to go into. So let's look at 2022. So from 2022 up until this past season, 2022 season, 23-24 season, there have been 2 national champions that have been from the Big Ten. So if we're looking at this and the SEC is looking at this and saying, all right. Ooh. Is ESPN looking at this like, did we get in at the wrong time? Did we get in on the back end of what has been the perceived dominance?
I can see what you're saying.
And now we potentially, with this happening, with the SEC breaking away, there will be renegotiations of contracts and TV deals because it changes the apple cart. Does ESPN hitch their horse to the SEC or do they hitch it to the Big Ten? I just want y'all thoughts on that.
I can see what you're saying, Nick, because it didn't happen at what we feel is the peak of the SEC dominance, but it's still hard.
To your point, it's not the peak of dominance is when the SEC was winning championships after championships, or
you know what I'm saying. That's I can see your point when you say.
But now you have a legitimate contender to that conference. Is ESPN sitting here saying, "Hey, did we do this too soon?" Just asking. I want your thoughts on that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, but go ahead, Mark.
I don't think.
I think it's too early to tell. But I think if we're saying ESPN is going, I think it's going to be a bundle deal regardless. Meaning, I think it's going to be with the SEC and the Big Ten, just not with just the SEC.
Okay.
I think it's. I don't. I can see what you're saying about wanting to get their hooks into SEC earlier. They definitely it appears they missed the window on the SEC supreme dominance. But
is CBS the real winner in this situation?
Because they got out.
And they got the SEC during the peak time. Is CBS the real winner? And they got it for cheap. But go ahead.
For cheap. But I just think. Well, go ahead, Tiz.
Oh no! I was about to say. Now I think it's perfect time. Like I think from a product standpoint, like forget dominance and winning. We're talking about strictly people viewership, right? Like strictly viewership.
Okay.
The region of the SEC is a football hotbed.
Right.
These people love football in this area, unlike no other area.
And
it's capitalizing on that. You know what I mean? More so than anything. it's a reason why the SEC championship ticket prices are much higher, significantly higher than any other conference championship, because it just means more here in this area.
Okay.
And also, ESPN is capitalizing off the college football playoff games themselves. They have that deal. So, like, of course, they're going to want to put the SEC. This is why they're vying for the automatic spots. But like, it's perfect timing. Like, you got NIL working. So if you want to sell a product and strengthen your product, why not have it now where smaller schools in the bottom of your conference can compete, and you strengthen your conference top to bottom, and you had the media rights to display all this stuff to America. And you can essentially cut other conferences out if you wanted to, but I don't think it'll be good for the product, but you could.
Okay.
I mean, DC said something about somebody said something about a model similar to the Premier League and stuff over. I don't know how that all works, but I know if you don't win a certain percentage, you get moved down to a different. It's like if we just get rid of all conferences, right?
Every 5 years.
Right.
Basically,
so like
basically what I'm saying is you set it up like baseball. So basically you have like the major leagues, you have AAA, then you have like AA. And then you have like your smaller schools and AA, AAA is a mid tier, and then the super conference is the major leagues. And then 5 years, those leagues are set. And then after 5 years, you can regulate teams between each league. It's the way I think that it potentially could work, but
yeah, so yeah, I kind of like that, but that would do away with the conferences altogether, though. Correct?
It would, yes.
So I can see that happening.
But the thing about it is each tier will have their own championship.
Yeah, so but do they cross play at all?
They can. Yeah. Like for strength of scheduling purposes, you can.
I can see us going to that, but you got to be at the end of the contract, and everybody got to agree because there still have to be some profit sharing at those different levels. Because I think that way Bowling Green gets to say, like, okay, we can win this championship if nothing else. And getting that one championship, maybe we can get better in 5 years and go to the next level. I actually like that, but I just don't like, we're just going to shove y'all over here. You know, we'll shove y'all out the way over here and stiff arm y'all. And we're going to take these 50 teams, we'll roll with it, and we're never going to change. Because let's be honest, in the Big Ten and in the SEC, there are some teams that just don't belong. They have not earned that 5-year right to start out at the top of the game, to share the top money. Although some people have gotten better. Vanderbilt's gotten better over the last year or so. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain teams, especially in the Big Ten, that do not deserve to be just automatically included in the power conference or the power play. I mean, you already got if they go to that new thing in 2026, they got 4 chances to get into the championship, where Clemson will have 2. And there's something wrong with that. Iowa State has 4 chances to get into the championship, but Clemson has 2. And I don't even like Clemson, but there's something wrong with that. Inherently wrong with that whole scenario.
Is it though? Yeah. Because I'll ask you this question though, but here's the question. Is it though because of the fact Clemson is always going to be at the top in the ACC? It's going to be Clemson.
Georgia Tech then.
Clemson. That would probably be a better one. I mean, because if you were to pencil in 2 teams in the ACC, Clemson would be one of the teams that you would probably say.
Yeah, I don't think we should pencil nobody in, but I mean,
that's what I'm saying. But if they were to, you would be like, all right, Clemson probably is going to be one of those teams. Right. And then every other year it may flip flop between Miami, North Carolina, NC State, Georgia Tech, or if Virginia Tech have a great season, it may flip flop between those schools. But the thing is, looking at Clemson and you saying, all right, Clemson recruits the best. Clemson is always in the top in transfer portal, not transfer, but recruiting rankings. Always you can almost pencil them in for a 9-10 win season every year. So why are we worried about Clemson? Clemson is more likely going to be in the playoffs some type of way.
Yeah, I was just throwing it out there, but like I said, Miami, to assume that the Big 12 or the ACC or maybe if the Pac-12 comes back, are they Power 5 or are they just something else now? I don't know. You have a group of 6, but to assume that the Big 12 and the ACC will have a third team that wouldn't be worth seeing in the postseason, that's mind-blowing to me. Just don't even want to see him at all. Just it could be, like I said, it could be a North Carolina, it could be a Florida State, it could be a Miami, could be a third place team, and everybody like, nah, man, Ole Miss got that slot. So it's weird to me. I just think,
you're right.
Now you got a point. Now you got a point, though. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
You sliding stuff. I mean, to say they're gonna have two, and then I get irritated too more than anything else is when I see a let's say a Memphis versus a Texas Tech or something be 11-1. It's like, well, we only gonna take one of them schools. I'm like, okay. But when my man do this big turnaround and Southern Miss will start off his season by beating Mississippi State, and they get to the point where they are 12-0 in their little poop butt conference, and they can't even get in because they play in the Sun Belt. That's just
play the Conference USA. Conference USA.
Yeah, Conference USA. I think they're gonna beat Mississippi State first game of the year, set that tone, and set it off. But anyway, I just throwing a jab at Nick there. They are man. Go ahead. Upset alert. You got an upset alert sounder? Get your upset alert sounder. You can sound it right there.
I don't, because that's not an upset alert. That's not an upset alert. Just saying.
All right. Go ahead, Ted.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, I just think it's a tall task, man, for them to actually pull this off. But they have put the infrastructure in place for the SEC to have all the leverage when it comes to decision making with when it comes to seeding and it's a situation like Tyke said. You start getting those automatic slots, man. You start ruining championship games, and now we have a championship playoff scenario, and regular season takes a hit. Now teams, we already in a situation where we may have, like I said, a 9-3 team from the SEC make the playoff this year. It's very possible. And before you know it, like it's almost inevitable, bro. Like when you start, the more teams you add, the worse this is going to get. I don't know what was so wrong with the last system. Is all I'm saying.
The BCS. You talking about the BCS system?
Yeah. The last 3 installments of this. Like I would argue that the problem is not so much how many teams get in or whatever. It's like more so people don't trust the system that they use to pick the teams. Like if people trusted, like if it wasn't a debate at the bottom as much as it was, then we wouldn't be adding all these teams. Okay. And these conferences wouldn't be like, so right now the conferences are just trying to buy themselves playoff spots, and that's what's going on with the SEC. They're using their leverage to try to guarantee more playoff spots. And it's just like, because they don't feel like they got it right. They look at what happened to Indiana and they say, they said, oh, that wouldn't happen to Ole Miss. That wouldn't happen to South Carolina. That wouldn't happen to Alabama. So that's all it is just that they're trying to vie for playoff spots. And to me, it just feels like if you could develop some type of system more so to just what people trust, like, and then you wouldn't have this issue.
Okay. Huggy said, man, what's up, Sharp? That's what he said. Robert Smith comes in and said, man, the SEC will have to partner. We'll have a partner like the Big Ten to do this if it happens. I agree with that. If it does happen. Said, Tight directly contributing to Auburn athletics through tuition. Love to see it. I bet it's some pics of you
bought a jersey
out there with orange and blue on too.
No.
He said, how y'all get Purple Crown? Huggy and Keith. What are you talking about? Purple Crown? What? Are you talking about the drink Crown Royal? I don't know. All right, okay. King Richard said, man, if the SEC does that, they will need to have more than 16 teams. Yeah, I mean, but what will happen is like more than likely the Big Ten and the SEC are going to combine, and that's going to give you 34 teams right there because it's 18 in the Big Ten. So it's basically two more teams than what the NFL has, and they'll probably just use the NFL model.
That's crazy.
So
they already setting the salary cap
basically. So that's
the point I'm thinking. They're trying to go back to the old model. Like I said, whenever they can do salary caps all they want to, it's called wage restriction. They're gonna have to they still got to get their collective bargaining set up with their players.
But
You're back to square one.
Go ahead. But yeah, man, King FSU, Clemson, others could. That would be when they get out of the ACC. Yeah, I think what you would possibly see is all of the brand schools probably be in the top tier, at least to start. And then you'll probably start seeing, if it were me, I would just put all the brand schools in the top tier and then just have schools play their way up. I mean, that's just the way America is now, meritocracy, isn't it? I'm just being real. It is kind of what it is now. I mean, everything.
Well, if I was a FSU or Miami or even Georgia Tech or Clemson, I would definitely get out of the ACC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If they went to I take my chance. I want the Notre Dame rules.
Shoot, Florida State been talking about
it. That's a good one. I want Notre Dame rules.
I want the Notre Dame rules. Like we can get on Seminole TV down here at the casinos, and we ain't got the NBC contract yet. But we out of the SEC. I mean the ACC. Give me the Notre Dame rules. Let me lose 2 games and give me automatic into the
playoffs. That's a good one, man. Tight. I like that scare tactic of a bargaining chip. Is what he said. That's from Auburn Dad. Bubba comes in. Bubba says, I feel like this is just a threat to the NCAA to give the power conferences, to give the power conferences they want in terms of auto bids for the CFP. But the thing about this is the NCAA has no bearing on the postseason for college football playoff.
The threat is directly to other teams.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I think they would have to sue. Because the point I made last night, if I'm name of school, Texas Tech.
Oh, there you go.
They'll say, yeah, they spend a lot of money to Sacramento State. But if I'm Texas Tech, they got a billionaire pouring money into that school, man, I'm like, we spent 20 years getting to this point where we compete. Now y'all taking it away. Somebody owe me some money. And a lot of it ain't the NCAA either. It's the Big Ten and the SEC. Break it down, brothers. But just break me off for this $100 million I done spent over the last 20 years.
What's up, Seahawk? What's up?
Seahawk.
What's up, man? What's up, Tim? What's up, Tim? My bad. I just had to shot them.
That's cool. You got a lot of chat, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Make sure y'all hit the like button, like Sharpshooter said. Put it to you, Sharpshooter. Thank you for that.
Huggy Beer said that was pretty cool when Bama lost to Michigan righteously. He said Leach carrying those numbers, Nick. What you mean?
When you were talking about SEC versus Mississippi State versus
yeah. That was interesting. But what surprised me was how close those numbers were. Like the SEC is pretty even against other power schools. And then I was looking at that too, is what they were saying. I think they said it was 64. I think they said the SEC was 64-41 from 2019 to 2023 against Power 5 schools, but 11 of those were from Georgia because Georgia was 11-0, but they was playing the same teams over and over again. Just from what I read. So if you take that away, the SEC was really 56% against Power 4 conferences. I said, okay, all right, interesting. That's an interesting point. That's an interesting take, man. Auburn Dad comes in and says, man, SEC beats itself up. Big Ten has 3 teams, maybe 4 worth of dang. They don't have to play each other. I would disagree with that. I think they got more. I think the Big Ten got more teams than that. I'm just being real. I think they do.
Nick is a big fan of
a Big Ten fan. I look at the numbers and I say, hey,
you want to come on and discuss that?
Who?
Yeah, that's
Auburn Dad.
Oh yeah, he'll come on. I mean, if make it happen, boss.
You're saying the Big Ten has more.
See, now you put words in my mouth. Now you put words in my mouth because I know
that's what I'm asking.
The argument has been the argument that we've been having is that they've
Big Ten is top heavy. Big Ten is top heavy. That's what we say.
SEC is top heavy too. I've been saying that the gap between the SEC and the Big Ten is not as far apart as what people think it is. It's literally like this.
He pushing Illinois. He pushing Maryland.
Illinois beat South Carolina last year.
Minnesota.
Illinois beat South Carolina last year, and we were sitting here saying
Northwestern with a priest come out at night.
Should have been in the conversation for the college football playoff. I'm just saying.
You pushing Purdue. You pushing Rutgers. A guy from here is going to Rutgers. I was trying to figure what it was about, and it don't look that bad, but I mean,
I don't know, man.
Vandy Chris. The SEC is not breaking.
What's crazy is this is the same guy who has Mississippi State going to a bowl game, but that is the very bottom of the SEC.
Mississippi State is not the very bottom of the SEC.
Yeah, they are the very bottom. Look,
not
Kentucky,
this coming year. Not this coming year.
But Kentucky is one click up.
At the bottom of the SEC, if not Mississippi State, Nick.
Yeah, I'm basing it on the 2020 season. Yeah, Kentucky, maybe Tennessee. Yeah.
Wow. Tennessee will fall off, but come on now.
Look, man,
Tennessee going down, they ain't going down that far.
Listen, I look at what I look
Tennessee
at.
Tennessee will beat the bottom of the Big Ten tomorrow.
I make my assumptions based on what I have seen post-spring practice, and what the roster look like, and I say what I say, and I stand by it. So if
8 days,
I'm wrong,
8 days, 8 games.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But guess what? I'm gonna stand by it if I'm wrong. But Tennessee will fall off this year.
8 days, 8 games. Skip 2 days. SEC beats the bottom of the Big Ten every single game.
Okay.
What was Indiana? Like Indiana made the playoff, right?
Right.
Yeah, they won 10 games. They won 11 games.
Right.
The Mark Cuban money.
And I think they played like what? One ranked team, something like that.
Yep. And it showed.
But that's not possible in the SEC. Like you can't get a schedule like Indiana had in the SEC.
You gotta understand where I come from with this.
I want a text game.
You gotta understand where I come from with this. When you are first to say something, people gonna jump onto it. So if you first to say it means more, people gonna be like, okay, it means more. Conference. So that's what I'm saying. But then when another conference comes up and they actually start playing good football and it's a threat, people be like, oh no, it just means more here. Yeah, it does mean more. SEC is a good conference, but guess what? The Big Ten is a good conference as well. So I'm just saying we can't sit here just because of the marketing aspect of what the SEC has done. They've done a great job of it. They've done a great job of marketing this to the people. They've done a great job. I think it's a lot of marketing to it, but I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, well,
the SEC has great teams as well too. But as I've been making the argument for the past year that the SEC has been top heavy. I've been making that argument, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I top so heavy, did it drop down on the Big Ten like a ton of bricks falling off a third floor scaffold.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it means more came from the fact that we played an extra game and everybody else did.
Yeah, but the Big Ten now plays more conference games than we do. So I'm just trying to say. So does that? I mean, reasoning behind it does that still matter now?
No. I mean, like extra game as in conference championship. We played an extra game.
Yeah, right. The Big Ten,
everybody else won. Now everybody does, but I'm just saying
the Big Ten plays more conference games, and they play a conference, and they have a conference championship.
But you can't put together a conference schedule within the SEC like the one that Indiana had and get like you just can't.
Before Missouri got in the conference, we all said Missouri sucked. Now Missouri is a tough schedule. It's a tough opponent.
Well, Missouri was getting better. That's why they got into the conference.
I'm just saying. Before Missouri got into the conference, we were saying Missouri was not a good school, even though they were winning. And then when they got into the conference, they actually made it to the SEC championship game 2 seasons in a row. But because they weren't in the SEC, people were saying, just because they're in the Big 12, the SEC, Arkansas can beat them. So, I mean, my point is, look, when you market something and you message something really well to people, and I would make an example here, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. When you market and message something very well to people, people believe it. And they believe it to the death. That's all I'm saying.
That's good. That's good, man. That's good marketing, but this doesn't make it true though. We know that.
Okay, so all right, all right. I'm just saying. I just look.
But I think that would you say you had the marketing that goes with it? Like people call it Cowboys America's team, and they haven't won too many playoffs games in Dak Prescott's lifetime, let alone in actuality. But when you say it about the SEC, it means more. Look at the national championships in the last 20 years. It must mean something because a lot of people have cared about it. Auburn has cared about it. LSU has cared about it. Alabama and what's the other one? Georgia have cared about it a lot to show up there and paid the most money to coaches and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
What's up, PhD? How you feeling?
How are you, PhD?
Feeling all right, feeling good, feeling good.
It's been a rough day, PhD.
Yeah, the ACC definitely has I don't think it's all marketing. I think it's some marketing in it.
Doing the most.
It's definitely it definitely was like a moment. They had what I would call Spike Lee, Michael Jordan. It's got to be the shoes moment.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. Like that definitely existed with the whole It Means More thing. But they actually went out and won the games. They have a stretch where the SEC was
unlike the Cowboys.
So they kind of earned that.
But you can make the same assessment for the teams in the Big Ten as well. You can make the same assessments for.
I can make the same assessment for Ohio State, and Michigan.
Yeah, Ohio State and Michigan. But then when you but when you look at the SEC outside of LSU, and Auburn since 2010, because outside of LSU and Auburn in 2010, what other teams have consistently been in that championship conversation besides Alabama and Georgia?
I think it starts earlier than that, like
2000. Florida before then.
Yeah, so you got to think about it. We haven't
had 2007.
We haven't had a new team win a national championship since like 92.
Okay, when you say a new team, what do you mean by that?
Like a team that hasn't won a national championship. It's kind of been the recycling of the same teams.
Okay, so my question to that is,
during that stretch, that might be a better argument. That I like that argument. College football is top heavy. Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you take the top, if you take whatever comes out, and you take whatever the preseason poll is, and you take the top out of top 15 teams.
Mm-hmm.
If you take the top 15 teams, you will cover a lot of the past national. Like you'll be able to go back a long ways and covering national champions.
I think the only outliers that would probably be Miami.
Yeah. Oh no, Miami's on there too.
Yeah, but Miami hasn't been like one of those premier teams in like the past.
Since they left the WAC East.
No, I'm saying. So, what I'm saying is, if whatever the preseason poll is, if you go 1 through 15,
and
if you start naming national champions, before you get to somebody that's not on that list from 1 through 15, you could go back a long ways. Miami will be like number 8 on that list or something.
Right.
Number 9. They'll hit the box. Before you get to a team that's just like not on that list, you
like
go back
an Indiana and SMU may pop up.
My bad, Vandy Chris. We ain't gonna be on here too much longer. We literally got to get off in like 10, 11 minutes. We got to get you on. We'll get you on later on this week, Vandy. I know you come on here and talk about it with us, but we just gonna be on for about another 10, 11 minutes, and then we're gonna get off because fellas got stuff to do. But my bad. Go ahead, Tez.
No, but you get what I'm saying? Is like the top teams, when you say college football is top heavy, I'm saying like the top 15 teams in college football cover so much of the national championship landscape that, yeah, it is top heavy.
It's on purpose.
There's a lot of teams in college football when you consider that. Like, yeah.
Okay. All right. We look at it differently. I just feel as if this whole narrative now, back then I'm all on the train with y'all, man. SEC through and through. I'm still an SEC guy. I still route the SEC. I still think the SEC is that much than the Big Ten. And then, hey, if you want to question that, yeah, I'll probably look at it a little bit more objectively than.
Are you really with SEC?
Stuff like that, because
do you put sugar in your grits now, Nick? What's going on?
I don't put sugar in my grits. I don't think nobody. I don't
fighting words right there.
I don't put sugar in my grits. I don't put sugar in my grits. I don't do that.
To Nick's point, the gap has closed. We do have to acknowledge that the gap has closed. So to Nick's point, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's just I still feel like the SEC is the most
is it feeling, or is there some type of data behind that?
Oh, the data I got is that Indiana got killed in this play.
See, this is the thing. When we go to the argument of national championships, and to DC point, Yeah, DC, that's true. Only 2 Big Ten teams have won the championship. But to Tez's point, as we just stated, if you look at the top 15 teams and you go back, it's been a recycling of the same teams that have won the championship, maybe with a couple of them sprinkled in there. How I factor this into it is how the rest of your conference stack up against the rest of your conference record-wise. And when you look at the rest of the SEC, I'm just looking at this number from 2019 to 2023. From 2019 to 2023, if you take, let's take Alabama, let's take Georgia, let's take LSU out, because those are the 3 most recent SEC SEC teams to win the championship. If you take them out, Arkansas has a winning record; they're 4-1. Auburn is 2-4 against opposing teams. Florida is 500 at 5-5. Kentucky is 7-2. LSU, we took LSU out, but if you want to put them in there, LSU is 5-4 against those other conferences. Ole Miss is 5-3. Mississippi State is 4-3. Missouri is 3-3. South Carolina is 2-6. Tennessee is 5-3. Texas A&M is 4-3. Vanderbilt is 0-3. So when I look at these numbers, it's not a big disparity except for maybe 2 teams: Kentucky, who's 7-2, and Arkansas, who's 4-1. But when I look at everybody else, they kind of right there against these other conferences. Like, and if I'm looking at that if I'm just an outsider looking at this, and I've never watched college football, I've never watched it, and I'm seeing this, I'm like, oh, they kind of right there with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So I'm just sitting here saying, okay, you telling me this one conference is deep because they have so many national championships, but then you tell me on the opposite end that in the past 20 years, we can just recycle national champions from the top 15 that's been in there. Okay, all right. So basically, you're telling me college football is top heavy, but then let me look at the rest of the conference. If I'm an analyst, I'm looking at the rest of the conference and I'm looking at your record against their record. I'm like, oh, y'all right there. So
that's easy way to say it. That's why if you choose to do that, you can choose to look at the bottom of the conference, but you can choose to look at the middle of the conference, or you can choose to look at the top of the conference. And I think the only way you can, especially in this day of the playoffs, is to look at the final product, because
I agree with you though. That's a good point.
To exclude those 6 teams that DC just had in his comment, a lot of the teams have to battle against those 6 teams, then go show up and be up for Maryland or California or whoever. You have to get up for them in between. You don't even have chances. To some teams that may not have the bandwidth to prepare for those 6 teams or 4 of those 6 teams, and then also be on point for, I don't know, a California game that don't even matter.
Okay, all right. To DC point, you taking SEC teams out. Okay, like I said, if you put LSU back in, they 5-4. If you put Alabama back in, Alabama is 7-2, and then Georgia is 11-0. But like I stated earlier in the show, Georgia played a lot of those teams over and over again. They played a lot of the same teams over and over again in the college football playoff. So if I'm taking out the top heavy teams, and then I take out the top heavy teams, I don't have the records for the Big Ten. So like that, I just looked at the SEC. If I take those top teams out that have won national championships, if I take that out, and I'm looking at it, I think Vandy Creek just put it in. I think he just put it in the chat. I think he just put it in 16-13. Is what he said. So basically, you tell me
here's why
those
numbers. Here's why that can be skewed.
Okay.
With the advent of the college football playoff.
Okay.
You have a reduced importance now of bowl games. The teams that don't make the playoff, even with the 14 playoff, even when it was 14. The teams that didn't make the playoff, that's when we start seeing players sitting out. We start seeing teams not taking these games seriously. We start seeing that. So once you and then you factor that into those numbers, yeah, it may look like it's close, but you have to look at is like I said, like you can't put together an SEC schedule that equals what Indiana, the walk that Indiana had.
Okay. All right.
It's just not possible because there's not enough bad teams in the SEC to do that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I think we were talking last year. I think DC said something about the Texas schedule. Like everybody wanted the Texas schedule. It was deemed to be not
really
as
easy.
Yeah, it was not deemed as being like, as aggressive. Then we got to play these same schedules 2 years in a row. I'm like, I think I remember saying to myself, I want that Texas schedule. It was like it was a really good SEC schedule to have to make a run, to be honest. But most times it's just not like that. And Texas still, they could incur some problems this year. Who knows?
King Richard said, "Here's my take." He said, "Here's my take. How do you really know is the better team? For instance, Bama starts out ranked number 3 in the nation, but ends up with 3 losses. But in the Big 4 conferences, there are 8 teams with 3 losses, but Bama."
We used to do. You know how we used to do that in the BCS era?
Bowl
games.
It said, but Bama is 12th, and the other teams.
Yeah, my bad. But Bama. I forgot that. But Bama is 12th, and the other 8 teams are 20 and below. So he got a point. You got a point.
It could be a strength of schedule conversation that people have.
I'm just saying. But
it's a strength of schedule thing. It's like if you're playing those top 6 teams again, if you play those top 16, they may give you credit for beating them every once in a while.
Oh,
I mean, beating Georgia was big for us.
I guess. I hear you. I hear you, man. I hear
it was an easy thing to do.
Because you're bound to play top 5 competition in the SEC to get your ranking back high. If you lose a game, you're gonna play another ranked team down the line.
Playing UCLA, Purdue, and Maryland. Who want them on their schedule?
In the Big Ten, if you lose 2 games against Oregon or Ohio State, your season shot. Because you're only gonna play 2 to 3 ranked teams.
Or you're gonna play Penn State. You probably gonna play you could probably play USC. You're gonna probably play Indiana. You're gonna probably play Nebraska. I mean, like, there's a lot of teams that's coming up in the Big Ten that are gonna actually be that actually are worth something. That's actually worth competing.
Right? So hear me out.
Are they?
Why don't we just bring back? And I know nobody want to hear this, but bring back the computer model.
Oh my god.
We don't have to have a whole season of it. You can rank these. You can rank these teams. If you have an unbiased computer model, it will rank strength of schedule.
Here's my question: How is the computer unbiased when it has to be inputted by humans?
But it can rank strength of schedule.
Who won't produce
at least?
Yeah, Northwestern, please.
But the humans have to put. What strength of schedule is. So if they skew it towards the SEC, then is it still objective?
No. Hear me out. Just up to week 8.
Okay.
Not the whole year. Up to week 8, up until the college football playoff committee gets together. And wherever it is from then they take these teams. Because then you won't have an Indiana ranked so high already that you can't knock them out of there.
Right.
Computer model would say, no, they haven't played anybody.
Right.
And now the humans can take over by week 8, and we'll all be cool with that. With the results.
I go into the end of the season.
Then we would feel better at the end about teams getting like we wouldn't have that whole issue right there. It's about how these teams start off in this season.
Notre Dame schedule. Don't get me started.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
Don't get me started.
ACC schedule.
Nah.
Well, I mean, they got the ACC kind of schedule, but it is different when you have to prepare for the same schools all the time. Like you got 8 teams or at least 6 teams you're gonna play every year. Man, they waiting on you. They in the cut waiting on you. Hit you across your head when you eat.
That's a good point. That's a good point, man. I wish we could talk about this longer than this, but fellas, it's at the hour mark, and your boy got stuff. And I know Tight been in a Tight been on that thing for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Him in DC. He said they don't want
3 hours now.
They want control. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Money.
And if you want control, you will skew it any kind of way to make it happen. Like I said, I would give an example, but I'm gonna keep it to myself until later on. Hey, Tight, tell them where they can find you at, Mike.
Tight Sports. You can find me on YouTube at Tight Sports, the Alabama Megacast, and Facebook, Tight Sports, and Blue Sky. You can also hit me at on X at Tight Sports Talk. I'm about to go sleep. I am going to sleep.
Ted, tell them where they can find you at, man.
My tongue dehydrated.
You can find me at It's SEC Season here on YouTube and on Twitter, and you can find me on my personal page, codename Tez on Twitter.
Yes, sir. Make sure y'all go follow the Avengers of YouTube, man. Go follow DC Wolf over at Auburn Addicts TV, man. Go follow Blake and Dustin over at the Uptempo Podcast. Tight's favorite Auburn fan, Dustin. Make sure y'all go.
That's my boy.
Make sure y'all go follow Sharpshooters. It's not Sharpshooters Podcast anymore. It's Sharpshooters Sports Talk. Make sure y'all go follow Sharpshooters Sports Talk on these YouTube streets, man. Go over there. Check out Vandy Chris over at the Golden Broom Podcast, man. We're gonna get Vandy Chris back on here, man, because Vandy Chris be giving us that. He be giving us some of that good insight. He tried to hype us up about Vanderbilt. Make sure y'all go follow them. And then, of course, man, go follow Bubba and the Old Man Auburn Sports Talk on these YouTube streets as well, man. Make sure you follow us as well, man. Follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, man. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk. Follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. And then, of course, subscribe, like, and share. And hit the like button and hit the notification bell button here on YouTube. So you know when we post more videos and go live, man. 2 more days. And your boy taking a 2-week vacation. But we will not leave you empty-handed. We will not leave you empty-handed. I will let you know Friday how you can continue to watch Water Cooler Talk while we gone for 2 weeks.
What?
We'll let you know how you'll be able to continue watching us. It's gonna be great. Just know you're gonna enjoy it. You can tune in at any point, anytime you want to. Mark, what you gotta say to people before we get up out of here, man?
Hey, man, y'all be blessed, man. Stay safe. See y'all back tomorrow.
Oh, Mark, you gonna be on tomorrow?
Oh, I won't be on tomorrow, but we will see y'all back here.
No, okay.
I'll be on Friday.
All right, then, man. It is what it is, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler. As always, man, y'all have a good one. Better yet, y'all have a great one. Y'all be blessed, man. Make sure y'all give the man upstairs above his because he deserves all the praise and all the glory. And until tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, back around the water cooler. It is one love, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what? We out this thing. I holla. Peace.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Water Cooler Talks with your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.